Good morning, Avid Scholars. This is Mrs. Cruz with your weekly update for our 7I class. We're now on week 2 of quarter 4, so I'm hoping everything's going well for you and that we're starting to find a system that works for us. In this video, I'm going to talk about what's due this week. It's a very important week because we're starting that new novel, so I hope that you're watching this video and getting all those details. But before we get started, as I mentioned last week, I'm really trying to start with a positive moment, so I wanted to recognize some students that are Scholars of the Week. Basically, if you are a Scholar of the Week, I'm going to also send your name over for a digital rep note, and just trying to find ways of recognizing those of you who are doing a great job. So in period 3 this week, our Scholar of the Week is Arlene Martinez. Unfortunately, I don't have a picture of her on file, but anyone who knows Arlene Martinez knows she's a really hard worker. She's turning in all her work and doing a great job. For period 4, it's Giselle Gallegos. So I like that not only are you really trying your best, but anytime you have a question, you don't hesitate to ask, and that way you make sure that you understand the assignment fully. For period 5, I have Adela Pineda. She's a really hard worker. She gives 110% everything that with everything that's assigned, no matter how small or how big the assignment is. She always impresses me. And for period 6, we have Emily Wentz. You're off to such a great start. I could already tell the positive energy that you're entering in quarter 4, so keep up the good work. So good job to the 4 of you, and thank you for trying so hard. A few reminders for week 2. First off, don't forget to reach out if you're feeling lost or if you feel a little stressed out. Remember that that's what I'm here for, so just make sure that you're letting me know so that we can try to come up with a plan and make sure that you're not feeling lost or stressed. Remember that our new policy for late work is that you can only turn in assignments up to 2 weeks late, and then I am asking that you're sending in an email to let me know if you want something to be fixed. I really encourage you to avoid late work since it leads to stress. So really try turning everything in on time so you don't end up feeling stressed out. And then always prioritize the current work so you don't fall behind on that. This week, for example, we're starting chapter 1 of a new novel. So if you want to turn in something late, make sure that chapter 1 is done and then move on to the late work. And then my other reminder is to make sure you're participating in all discussions to understand the book more. So the discussions could be digitally on discussion boards, or also you're going to have some Zoom options this week. So here's what the book looks like. Hopefully by now you've already seen the video that really gives you some information about the setting, but so this should be a reminder that we're reading Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry by Mildred D. Taylor, and it's going to be our collection 6 novel that we focus on for quarter 4. Every week you'll get some similar assignments, so I want to just give you a really quick overview. So you might get assigned 1 or 2 chapters. It depends on the length of the chapters, and each week you're going to be asked to complete 2 vocabulary boxes. You're going to be given some text-dependent questions to answer, so just answer them like we've been practicing the text-dependent questions for full credit. And then I'm going to ask that by Thursday you post that you have an unanswered question on either Google Classroom, or we'll talk about this a little bit more, but it could be on Zoom. And then on Friday you're going to get a quiz that'll be due on Sunday. So I'll show you this a little bit more in detail, but here's a quick overview of what to expect each week for the novel. It will be a similar structure like I'm telling you, so we'll go into the structure a little bit more for this week. But every Thursday, these will be your 2 options. So you'll either post your question on Google Classroom and respond to 2 classmates by clicking reply to their question, or your option B is you could join a 30-minute Zoom session on Thursday to get full credit for your weekly discussions. And then, as I mentioned to you, you'll get a quiz on Friday. You'll only get 1 opportunity to take the quiz, and we're going to try our best to study beforehand because it's going to be a closed note quiz. and then it'll be due on Sunday. So here's a little recap of the assignments, but like I told you, we're going to see this week's assignment so you can see it a little more in detail. And just a reminder, please, to avoid any spoilers so that you don't let anybody else know what happens if you happen to be ahead in the reading. Okay, so let's look at our weekly schedule this week. So here's our weekly schedule this week. For week 2, our inspirational quote of the week says, "There's no elevator to success. You have to take the stairs." I like that one because I know that a lot of you are putting a lot of hard work and it'll pay off in the future. Our scholar goal this week is contact each teacher at least once per week through a comment, an email, or showing up to a Zoom. So just make sure you're reaching out. And then I'm going to hyperlink our video here. So after our video, you should be able to click the link for this video that you're watching right now. So just click this link to watch this video as many times as possible, or as many times as you need to. So here's Monday, and as you can see, your number 1 task has been assigned already. It says read chapter 1 and complete all notes due Friday. So I have already assigned your chapter 1. So on your stream, you should see that it says Roll of Thunder chapter 1. So that should already be there ready to go. And if you notice with our assignments, it tells you for pacing, just make sure that for today, Monday, that you complete the vocabulary and scan the questions. Those are the text-dependent questions. And then every day, you should be reading about 7 to 8 pages and completing 1 text-dependent question. If you follow this pacing, then you should be done by Thursday, which gives you Friday just to pay attention to like the quiz and study for that. So that's kind of what the pacing I have. And then here at 1 o'clock to 1:30 p.m., I'm going to have an optional Google Hangouts. I'm trying Google Hangouts for the first time. So if you click this link right here, it should take you to that optional meeting. I plan on just like starting the assignment and doing it through Google Hangouts, so you can log on to complete the assignment with me or watch the video just to see if you're confused about something. Okay, and then it says each day read 8 to the next day, Tuesday, if you're following my suggested pacing, you should read pages 8 to 15 and answer a text-dependent question. So let's take a look at what the assignment looks like really quickly. As you can see at the top, it tells you the title, the full title of the book, Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry, the author by Mildred Taylor, and then it has our focus for this week, which is chapter 1. At the very top, you see the 2 vocabulary words that we're focusing on, and as you can see, the word is highlighted. So our first word is emaciated. It tells you the part of speech. It's an adjective. I gave you the definition, so it says feeble and wasted. So now your job is to look for 2 synonyms and add an image to kind of go along with it. And you'll do the same thing for the word maverick. If you ever want to see a glossary of more words, then you can click this glossary, and it'll take you to a glossary of words that are used throughout the novel. So that's a cool little resource right there. And then here you'll notice the 2 links for the chapters. Sometimes they're broken apart. So as you can see, chapter 1, there's part 1 and there's part 2. So I would listen to both of them, especially because the book does use like a different dialect. So I think it'd be helpful to listen to the audio while you read along. So you click the audio and then you can just read along at the same time. Then here are the text-dependent questions we're focusing on. So I would read through these before getting ready with my reading. So as you can see, one of the questions is, how would you describe Cassie and why? And you would just type your response here on the right-hand side. Then the tip here is if you stop reading before finishing the chapter, highlight the sentence where you stopped and then write down the time from the audio file so you can continue it later. Also, highlight parts of the text that make you wonder and write questions on the right note sections. So you can see that there's 2 colors. So that means, like, if you use a green one, that's where you stopped. If you see like that pink one, then that's where you have a question. And here's some frames of how you can ask your questions. and you could always type your questions here on the right hand side. Here you can see that the text actually starts. It starts with little man, would you come on? And so that's where you would start reading. And if you notice on the bottom right, there's page numbers. So that's why if you notice from the pacing for day 1, we suggested reading about 7 pages. And then the next day starting at page 8. So that means like if you're following the suggestions for today, day 1, you should be reading all the way to page 7, which is this page. So you should be stopping around here. Of course, we knew around there. Okay, so that's basically your main task for the week. And then if you can see here on Wednesday, it says your discussion board will open in Google Classroom for you to post a question. That's due on Thursday. And then here in yellow, it's highlighted and it tells you what to do. So it says discussion due. To get credit for this discussion, you have option A, post your question and respond to 2 classmates' questions on Google Classroom, or option B, attend and participate in one 30-minute Zoom session. And as you can see, periods 3 to 5, 3 and 5, you'll be meeting me at 1:30, and periods 4 and 6, it'll be at 2:00 p.m. And then lastly, on Friday, you'll have your quiz. So just make sure you're completing your quiz by Sunday, and that you also turn in your Chapter 1 notes on Google Classroom. As usual, make sure you're letting me know if you're confused or if you have some questions or want to talk to me. So I'm here to talk to you. Thank you for watching our video, and I hope that you have a great week.